as a child, I would wonder about this. During the war, I would think, there were these Germans praying to God, please help us and make us win. And there were the English, please, God, help us and make us win, to beat the Germans. And the Germans would say, to beat the English. And I would think, this is a young person, young boy, 8, 9 years old. And I was thinking, surely, if there's a God, he's not going to favour one against the other. So that's an indication that I was doubting this God of what I now know as make-believe. The Santa Claus God, the mummy God, the daddy God, the make it all better God, the God that will give me all I want God. No. Isn't it so immature? Millions of people are praying to this fictitious God, an imaginary God, a hopeful God. No. There's no such God. My teacher, Adidal Samraj, confirmed that there is no such God. And he would mention God as being real God, because he would say there is only God. And if there is a God, then the job of God is to purify us of our ridiculous notions, of our ridiculousness, of wanting to win above another, ridiculousness of these prayers. We've got to simply grow up by standing on our own 2 feet and taking responsibility for our circumstance, for the conditions in and around. We've got to be intelligent. We've got to be open to the intelligence that the body-mind is. This already intelligence. I always use the open hand to represent the openness of the body-mind when it's not contracted. It was Adidar who first introduced me to these terms. The divine being, the openness of the body-mind. What love is, intimacy is, real happiness and real God is this open hand disposition of the body-mind. It's only because we contract that we think otherwise, that we think there must be a God out there, because this self-contraction is creating such unhappiness within us, such doubt and fear and anxiety and stress. This is the root cause of all of those results. And due to those results, we look for God out there. We all have to look for things in life. I used to look in the drawer. We all look in drawers for whatever. And as a child, I would say, Mummy, it's not there. She said, look harder. Well, I can't see it. Look again, she would say. And there it was. because it was her that told me, is in the drawer. So that's enlightenment for us. We've got to see God now. It's not in the future. This real God of real happiness, joy, delight, intimacy. That is God. That's the essence of God. That is what God is. This disposition. Everything else is fictitious. This is reality. So if the table's dusty, you know there's a duster somewhere to clean that dust off. Or if there's not a duster in your kitchen or wherever, you go and buy a duster, or you use a rag or something if you wish to have the dust removed. Well, that's what God is. This real God is a cleanser. Because as we open up, as we become less and less contracted and more bright, we see clearly that all that there was is vanished. The dust has gone. The body-mind is so open, full of energy and love and intimacy and simple happiness with a capital H. Because it's unreasonable happiness. It's, if you like, a crazy happiness. I've been listening recently to these crazy adepts, especially of Tibet. But you see, they act like the king's jester to break the seriousness, to break the ice, to break this mournful depression upon concerns and problems of everyday life. The kings of the past, they were only interested in wealth and accumulation of land. No doubt that's what a lot of countries are still about, but not so many, thank goodness. Do we have these fights and wars that last for hundreds of years? Once this is realized, this disposition of already happiness, there's no more seeking, you see. Because we think all this stuff that we want is going to make us happy. But if we're already happy, there's no need. You don't need a second cup of tea if one was sufficient. You don't need 3 cars if one is sufficient. And if you had 20 cars, you're not going to use them all at once. True happiness doesn't own anything. The open hand doesn't own a thing. It doesn't know a thing either. It's divine ignorance. So this fictitious God that people kneel down and pray to because they want this, that and the other, they're only wanting because they're not happy, already happy. Because once you're in this place, then you can be intelligent about how you manage your life. There's no way that the world is going to change until each individual changes, or more and more individuals change. By realizing real God, already happiness, joy, an awakening to that reality, which is always already the case, as Adidar would say, and it was never born and will never die. Oops. I put this on the back to stand it up.